Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
What up, family? This is Joe, No Picks Podcast.
Hey, what up, yo? This Todd checking in, No Picks Podcast.
All right, so we're back on TikTok because TikTok gives us tons of content to react to because
Yeah.
TikTok be wilding. So we got a clip here. I'm not even gonna introduce it. I'm gonna let it rock out entirely. We're gonna talk about this because I think this is hilarious. It's trending. So let's just let the clip play and then we'll talk about it. All right.
Let's make it happen.
All right.
Would you rather tell your feelings to a brick wall or to a woman?
So I did break it down to her logically, and she said she understands my logic and that it's sound, but she wanted to table that and talk about how that logic made her feel. And see, I know you'll never do no shit like that to me, because you know I don't give a fuck about that. I know you don't give a fuck about that. She the only one who give a fuck about that. But what she doesn't understand is that she's hijacking the facts of the conversation by inserting her feelings. And because somebody on the internet told her that all of her feelings are valid, now I gotta deal with that. Which is insane, because if I use that same logic, we have to know that there's killers in prison for killing people who think that they were totally justified because they felt mad when they were doing the killings. Right? I really think the problem be social media, bro. Anytime that comes up into conversation, she want to talk about my tone. Oh, let me tell you about tone. Tone is code word for you, right? But I need an out from this conversation, so we're going to talk about that instead. And all of these things are just manipulation tactics so that she can water all the facts down and get away from true accountability. Good talk, big dog.
Good talk, big dog. So, Ty, I got a question for you, bro. Would you rather share your feelings with a woman or a brick wall?
I mean, not to be on no silly shit. This ain't trolling. Like real shit. Like this. There are so many things about being a man that women don't understand. Not just black women, not women, like just
general.
women just don't understand, right? And it's just like it's the whole saying, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But that's like times 10 when we're talking about like, men's problems and shit like that. Because listen, women don't care about your problems. They don't, bro. Like maybe your mom, maybe your aunts, maybe, you know what I mean? But like outside of that, they don't care about your problems. Like, and rightfully so. Like, listen, what matters in this world is results. And nobody
Right.
is judged more like solely on results than men.
Right.
Because it don't matter how bad you had it in life. If you can't perform your manly duty, then there's no real use for you.
Right.
And
Right.
and you talking to your lady or your side chick or your wife or your girlfriend about how rough things are as a man, it doesn't hit, because eventually she's just going to replace you with somebody who's not bitching and complaining like you are as a man. And like
Yep.
he said something funny as hell. Like, okay, well, she'll hijack the conversation. She'll talk about her
Yeah.
feelings and about like how somehow you're invalidating her feelings, bro. That's
Yep.
a thing. Like that's like
Yep. Yep.
it's so nonsensical that it pisses me off to talk about. It really does piss me off to talk about, because I'm like, 1 + 1 don't equal 2 when emotions are involved. 1 + 1 equals whatever the fuck you want it to. I mean, so it's like
Yeah.
it's so hard talking to him. So, bro, and I've been through this game over and over and over in my life,
Same.
and I've realized that like, yo, they're like, women are always reasonable before they're upset. When
Yeah.
they're upset,
Facts.
when they're very unreasonable, there's no logic
Right.
behind it. They
Right.
it's so crazy. You and I talked about this before, bro. Get married, and within that marriage, your wife or your girlfriend take marriage out of it. Your girlfriend or your wife will always say, "Oh, I would never do this to you. I would never do this mean thing to you. Oh, like what? I can't believe this other girl did this to you. I would never do that to you."
Cat.
And let her ass get mad, and guess what will happen to you? The same shit she said she wouldn't do.
And the stuff you shared with her, she'll throw it back at you. So when you made yourself vulnerable and you express something either sensitive or humiliating, or you know what I mean, and she'll throw it back at you in the argument. I hate that, bro.
Yo,
I hate when that
the worst
happens,
part
bro.
about this conversation is that there are going to be women who watch this that say, "Oh, I'm not that kind of woman. I would
I
never
know.
do that."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, gotcha.
All right. Well, so all right. So great first reaction. I'm with you 100%. Right. And what I'll continue adding to that is, like I said, I would choose a brick wall. The brick wall is not gonna police me about my tone. The brick wall is not going to move the goalpost. Whenever I make a point that's correct, then pivot the conversation to somewhere else. The brick wall is not going to bring up something that I did 2 years ago that's completely irrelevant to the conversation we're having now. But she keeps it in the tuck as like a little ace in the hole, as like, I got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brick wall ain't gonna do that. Brick wall ain't gonna make me. Yep. Listen, I would choose the brick wall, and this is kind of a reaction to like the man versus bear thing, which is why I'm like, bro, let's talk about it, right? And I think this one is just a little more lighthearted. It's funnier, but also there's no delusion involved. Like when we choose the wall, there's no delusion about that. There's no like these chicks are picking the bears in the woods. Have you seen how big these black grizzly bears get, bro? Have you seen The Revenant with Leo DiCaprio when that bear was mauling his ass? Like, listen, bro, I'm not going in the woods with no bear, bro. Like, he ain't gonna go Revenant on me. So we're talking about men choosing walls, right? So this is a quick one, real fast, that I'm gonna pull up right now, which is why we don't want to do these things, right? Because remember, Shaq got beef a couple months ago for saying men should never express their emotions to a woman. You remember that? He went viral for that. And then there's stuff like this too, which is why I'm like, yo, y'all tripping. Like some of y'all really are tripping. Because then we got people saying stuff like this.
Complaining as a man. Because why are you complaining as a man?
Why would you ever?
Why would you ever complain about anything?
Yeah, why would you ever voice your opinion about anything in the world?
You should let me be
As
the
a
one.
man, the world is perfect, and you have no right to say shit about nothing.
Oh, so it's like,
Especially if you were Erica Banks, everything's just right.
you ain't got nothing to complain about.
You can't say shit about a motherfucking thing.
It has to make sense if you do complain. But
Give me an example.
You can't, bro. You just don't.
I believe that.
Just don't.
Okay, all right.
Just don't complain.
I
When you
just
get
want to
with
make sure
Erica
I
Banks,
ain't.
you shut the fuck up.
I just want to make sure I
Life
ain't
is
crazy,
better
bro.
when you with Erica Banks.
yes,
Okay.
is.
Nothing can go wrong. Nothing.
You can't complain.
All right, I mean, the clip goes on for a little bit more, but
Right.
there are women who genuinely feel this way. To express your emotions is sassy. Now there's a term, he-motional. A man who is emotional. Now they throw us with he's being he-motional. If he's being too sassy. It's like whenever we express ourselves, it's like, yo, this is what we get. And I've had so many relationships, and I'm not talking about my relationship now, but like I just remember countless times where I had to tell the people that I was with, like, listen, when I'm venting or bringing something that I'm genuinely concerned about or a grievance that I have, when I'm talking to you about that, it is a horrible time or moment for you to interject your problems and what you've been dealing with, because now you take away my space that I'm trying to create, a safe space to express what I feel. Now we're not addressing my feelings anymore. Now we're not addressing my grievances. Now we're talking about you and something that I said weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have told me what you're telling me now yesterday, earlier in the day, before I decided to like open up and share something with you. But no, they choose that one moment, and I'm like, that's the worst time, because I'm trying to share something with you, but you're like, oh, but you do this and you do that. Shorty, listen to me. Listen to actually comprehend, not just to respond.
Right.
And this is something that I find with many women in the past, that it's just like, the moment you want to bring up something, that's the moment that they want to hit you with something that you did months ago or that you said a day ago. And it's like, shorty, like, can I have my time? Can I have my moment? You know what I'm saying?
No.
So you got stuff like that. And the last one, just to drill it home, bro, because I'm like, people think we're joking, but I'm like, no, we're not really joking. Like,
But no, you can't have your moment. No.
you cannot have a moment, right? So then you have, let me see. And then we have this, right? So this happened a while back. But here we go. And like I said, this is so relevant because people think y'all just tripping, y'all making stuff up. This is the last one I'm going to pull up, just as I want to add a little context to be like, we're not tripping. There's a reason why we're choosing the wall, right? So check this out. You might have been following. This was a little while, but.
All right. K. Michelle says she doesn't feel protected when her man cries in front of her. So she was on the live and she was talking to a friend in the background when she said she doesn't feel like when men cry in front of her, make her feel protected.
I think men should be able to cry and be vulnerable. But for some reason, once they cry, you know what happens to me? I turn into the mate. When they cry, I be like, like that, like.
She was sad. Yeah, she was sad.
Right? So that's, there's the rest of the clip. But this is what I'm saying, ladies and family and men who we're talking to. This is the trend. I get that this is a reaction to man versus bear, but like this is like legit. Men are saying all over. Look at the comments. Men are being like, the table won't, negate my feelings, won't invalidate my feelings. Like, I'm sorry, the wall. The wall won't do that. Like, we'd rather talk to a wall. And Shaq was right. You should never really express yourself to. And I hate it. I hate it. But like, once we do, we give them ammunition. We are weaker. They're now the man in a relationship. We can't complain because bro, like what do you want us to do, man? Like, there's no space for us to have that outlet. But then they're mad when dudes is like teeing off and like, this is your extremes, right? But men are going out there having random bar fights or shooting up a damn club or killing each other, or you know what I mean? Or a man gets pushed so far to that point where he like harms the person that he's with, and we're not endorsing it. But I'm saying is, when you bottle up that much emotion, it comes out eventually. It comes out eventually. So I don't know, bro. Like, what are we supposed to do, man? Like,
They be capping, bro. Like women, 1,000% be capping when they say, "I want an emotional man. I wanted a man that's
right,
gonna cry and all this." Bro, you're capping. Like,
cap,
you're capping.
cap.
Because the minute he does that, you will throw it in his face, and every woman
Right.
watching this, right, will say, "That's not true. I don't do that to my man. You're fucking lying. You're lying. Like, you're lying." So I saw this. I was watching this reality TV show. I forget the name of it, but basically it was 4 women and 10 dudes, right? So the 4 women had like went on separate dates with all the 10 dudes to determine which one they like, whatever. And and all the 4 women said the same thing, the boilerplate thing that women say today, right? Oh, I want an emotional man. I want him to be, you know what I mean, emotional and open with his feelings and blah blah blah, right? So this one dude, comes in front of him and he's like, hey, tell him about his situation. And excuse me, he goes, you know, what they go, the question to him was, when was the last time you cried? And he starts getting sensitive and tearing up right then and there at in front of the TV, in front of the camera, in front of them, in front of the women.
Okay,
And
damn.
they're like, what's wrong? He's like, actually, you guys made me think of, like my mom dying. She died about 3 years ago, and she was like my best friend. Like, I got, he's like explaining the situation. He's like, it took me a long time to get over it, and I didn't think about the last time I cried until, you guys asked me that question, and it made me like remember her and miss her and stuff like that. And they all 4 of them walked up to him, they hugged him, they said, "Oh my God, like you're so brave, you're so brave, you're so brave." So my question to you, Joe, is this: out of the 10 men, the guy being one of them, right? The guy that cried being one of the 10 men. Out of the 10 men, when they ranked them on that show, where do you think he ranked in the hierarchy of the 10 men?
I give him a solid 8, and
He
8
ranked
being
10.
1 being the highest, right? He was
ranked,
last.
He like last of the whole
Right.
group.
Right.
And all 4, when the women said, the producer asked them, the question to all the women were, well, why'd you rank him last? They were like, yo, when he cried in front of us, something just like, it just, y'all say this shit, but then when y'all get this shit, it makes your vagina dry. You don't
dries
like
it up. Dry it
You
up.
don't like it. You say you like it. You say you want it. Women want a weird, like, hybrid of a man, right? They want a dude outside in the streets that's like super gangster, but he's also in a fucking, Tom Ford suit, fitted, sunglasses, nice Maserati, handling his business, doing all this stuff. All the men in the world are scared of him, but he comes home to you, and he comes home and sits on your lap and cries for 40 minutes and say, "Hey, honey," and he gets up and then he's tough again. He said, "Okay, cool. All right, let's be tough again. All right, cool. Where the dinner at?
Yeah.
The man, the hybrid of a man that they say that they want is so ridiculously like
It's unrealistic, bro. It's unrealistic. That man doesn't exist, bro. Only in their minds does that man exist, bro. Only in their minds does that man exist. And you're right to say that women always say, I want a man who's emotionally intelligent. And that too is just like, well, a guy who's emotionally intelligent, and we talked about this, he's going to have standards. He's going to have a level of emotional maturity, and he's going to expect you to have that too. So if he's emotionally intelligent, that also means that he's going to point out those toxic behaviors that you have to fix. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to also meet him there if you want that type of man, which is why it's like, y'all be capping. And I'll yeah.
Oh, no, my bad. Go. Finish.
No. Well, no. Well, I'm gonna I have another question, but go ahead. What was you gonna say?
What I'm about to say is, say that became a standard for men. Say men all universally say, "I want a woman that's emotionally intelligent." You know how many niggas will not be having sex?
Right.
You know how many niggas would just be not in relationships because
right.
just okay, so
right
because I don't think women are the most emotionally intelligent creatures. Like,
I don't think
like
there are either. I don't think so either.
So
Right.
I think mad dudes would just not be involved with women. They would just be subscribed to OnlyFans, jerking off and drinking Capri Suns all day at home.
Right.
Like, and then all the women will be at nightclubs with no dudes texting on their phones. Like,
Right.
it's like.
And there's good that comes out of, and the thing is, this is what women have to understand too, and I'm speaking to our family, to the women, like, men process things differently. I hate that we have to keep saying that, but like, we're not going to process things like you. We're not going to be, well, I hope not, because some of these men that are being raised by single moms, y'all way too emotional for me. Those are people that I think are emotional, like these dudes out here who are so emotional and be so quick to get riled up and shoot somebody or get into a fight or like, or but it's like, oh damn, I lost my train of thought. I went on a crazy tangent,
Nah, I feel you. No.
But no, but you have to understand, men process emotions differently, right?
Right.
And I think that it's like stoicism is like something that has to be perfected, right? It's something that you keep working on. But like, there's a reason why men choose to be stoic. We choose to be the anchors. We choose to be like the stability because women are so chaotic. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just that you guys have these emotions way more than we do. You guys have way more of that feminine energy. You guys have your hormone levels change every month when you're
Right.
menstruating or taking birth control. Like, you guys, there's chaos happening, and men offer stability because men are in control of that. But when we go through something, we don't process the way y'all do. Sometimes we just need space. Give me some space.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be some dome. Let me get some dome, and then in an hour or so, I'll be all right. I'll straighten me out. Maybe we need some TLC, but like, sometimes we just need space. I'll go to the gym, crank up some, do some bench. Just, I need space away from everything. Sometimes I just need to be alone. But we don't process things like them, and they hate that. And it's like, it's not that we don't want to open up, but we also know if I do open up, you don't want to hear it. Sometimes what we have is too heavy. Sometimes what we have to process is for a man to process, not for you to process. So we keep that to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to see you. We don't want to show weakness because some women might find that unattractive, and so we just put a guard up. So, bro, that I feel like we're just that's where we're at, man.
So how about this, right? So say men universally get on the same page. Okay, cool. We want to be more emotional. We want to be more emotionally intelligent. Whatever the fuck women mean when they say that. But let's just say that, right? Let's just say in a perfect world, all men we get on the same page. Let's be more emotionally intelligent, right? So who's to say how much is too much, right? So
Right.
you feel what I'm saying? So it's like if
Right.
if I come home and say, yo, honey, I didn't get this, raise, and I start crying. Although I'm being more emotionally intelligent, and I'm giving her what she wants, showing her my emotions and stuff like that, that may turn her off. There's a limit to where you can't exceed, and I've had this conversation with a lot of different women, bro. There's a line that they have in their head, and you can't go over that, because if you go over that, then you're like a bitch.
Right.
So as long as you stay under that, but I don't know what that is in your head. How am I supposed to know?
Right. And how are you supposed to restrain your raw emotion in that moment? Like, you're just letting it out because that's what you feel in that moment. Like, how do you put a restraint on it? You know what I mean? Like,
so say I come home, say me, I'm super tough Ty. I'm out here, I'm doing I'm cutting my own grass, right? Like, I'm coming, whatever. And I get bullied at work, and I come home and I say, hey babe, this dude is at work. He's such a bully. Like, I'm doing what you asked me to do.
Right.
But guess what? For most women, that's too much. They will lose. They will lose respect. They're not trying to have sex with me no more because I'm that. Because then I've shown myself to be too feminine. Because you open up the door to the possibilities that you may not be able to control me. Like, if I confide in you on that type time, I may show you too much emotion over something that you personally think doesn't require that much emotion. And how am I supposed to know that you didn't think that it required my level of emotion for that situation that you didn't deem worthy of that emotion? So every woman is cool if my mom dies, if your grandma dies, if your best friend dies. Every woman's cool with that. Right. But the rest of it is ambiguous. Like, say somebody take my favorite parking spot at work. I come home, I say, babe,
it better not be over there, bro.
She will look at you like, you fucking bitch. You fucking pussy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. How am I supposed to know that you're going to look at it in that way?
Right. Right.
It's already too late at that point because your vagina's dry. Now you're looking to try to bang the UPS dude.
I was just about to say that because she gonna be like, come here, baby, put that head in that shoulder, and then she's gonna be fucking Pookie and Ray Ray, who never let it out. It's just a dog, don't shed nothing. I mean, like, he gonna be beating it up. And that's who they go for. That's what gets it moist. And that's what bro, we've talked about this so many times. I've learned to stop listening to what women say and watch what they do. Watch
Sure.
what they do, because what they do is often so completely different from what they express. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Even the men that they choose to mate with or, have relations with, like they'll say they want this type of man, but all the dudes with the narcissistic, toxic, or like just like, the dogs, the players, all of them, like all they go for that. They don't go for the nice guys. They don't go,
Mm.
or not a stereotypical nice guy, but just a decent guy. You know what I mean? Like they'll just overlook. So I don't listen to what they say, bro. I watch what they do. I watch what they respond and react to,
Yeah.
because listening to them, you get the worst advice, bro.
Yeah.
You get the worst
1,000%.
advice, bro. So so I'm glad we reacted to this. I hope that you like this trend. Is gonna keep going. But listen, we
Yeah.
both choose the brick wall. So what I will say is, brother, any final thoughts?
No, I'm good. You can take it away.
Well, listen, family, y'all be safe. Like, subscribe. We still on the move. I had to turn the light on. People were saying it's too dark. I'm gonna keep the light on now. I like actually seeing more of the background too, so I'll keep it that way. And until next time, y'all.
Until next time.
All right.